any
True.
questions on it. And then they would make a recommendation and explain the criteria, and then we would vote in number 4.
Okay. Good for you. Okay, welcome to the Economic and Community Development Meeting. I'm Sandra Clear, District 2.
Karen Hiller, District 1.
Sylvia Ortiz, District 3.
Okay, any changes, additions, deletions to the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, the minutes are approved. Now we have the 2019 Social Services Grant Scores Review. Staff, do you have anything to add about this review?
No, we'll just stand for any further questions if you have any. I know I spoke to a couple of you, so.
Okay, questions?
No, but I have a comment.
Okay.
I wanted to thank, I know that I ruffled some feathers at the last meeting, and I wanted to thank you for coming back. It was not my intention to ruffle any feathers, but I hope that you would understand where I was coming from, not seeing anything, and I wanted to thoroughly go through the process since the process is very new. I sat down with Rochelle and talked to Corey, and so I was able to do that. So I just want to be fair, and people will be calling me to see why they didn't get this amount or that, and I wanted to be able to answer those questions and to make sure that I could answer them correctly. So that's all it was. I'm not looking to change anything. I think there's some things that I am concerned about, but at this point, I'm not looking to change anything. I think it'll all pan out at the end, and so I just wanted to make that very clear and to ease everybody's minds, because this is very, very important to me, and especially that we don't have enough money to serve everybody. But I think staff's done a good job from talking to Rochelle and Corey, and it's pretty awesome to see how the scoring's done. So with that, I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. I have also thought about, I'm not sure who I talked to about it, with this process, that this committee go through the entire process instead of stopping, the last committee, and then we stop and then we vote a new committee. I think that it should follow the whole, from beginning to the voting, so everyone knows, started, at the front end and ended instead of coming in at the end. So I'm going to work on that. I think that's something we need to work on. Yes.
Thank you. Well, I will echo my colleague, Councilwoman Ortiz's comments. I really appreciate the time that the staff took. I have been on this committee before, but I had not been on it for 2 years, and so I knew what we had voted on in terms of the parameters by council, but was not familiar with the details, and I appreciate the chairwoman providing the time and the staff's assistance to get caught up. And in terms of changing the system, which I think made people nervous, I was on the council when we started this process, and so the idea had been to create a process that could be each year move forward, that the council could rely on the committee to set the standards, then have the council approve them, though. And then the committee or its successor run through that process and have us be able to keep that at the committee level. I think that has worked. We're still fine-tuning, but I think it has worked. We've gotten the expert assistance from a seasoned grant reviewers, grant writers to help with the review process. That has evolved on the way and has really helped. What works is to support the process that was approved, recommended by the committee the year before, and ultimately approved by the council. And so I will support the process as well. I do think that the next step, which would happen in the fall, probably after the budget is done, September, October, I hope that we do start in a timely way, because sometimes that's kind of fallen off the end of the year. But if we give ourselves the time and have the input from you all in the fall about any comments on how we could improve the process, I think I can safely say all three of us would really be listening and want to make sure it goes well. Today we will decide on the recommendations And then there will be a short-term turnaround if someone actually has an appeal on the scoring of their particular grant. Other than that, we'll be looking to the fall to look at the process. So, thank you.
You bet. So, staff recommendation for the 2019 funding.
Okay, so after meeting with a couple of you, we have went with scores that scored 89% or above was the funding threshold. So we had 9 programs that did not get funding for a total of $399,525 for social services, including emergency aid.
So that number is how much would be awarded.
Yes. And that, just so you recall, last year the social services without contracted services was $407,000, so it's just slightly under what we funded from last year.
But am I correct in most people got a little bit more? I mean, if they scored correctly, 89 and above, they really got a little bit more than last year.
Yeah, I think with the changes that we made to the 25,000 cap that everybody except for a couple were put on, I think that a lot of the agencies, I mean, some didn't get funded, but a lot of the agencies did receive more than what they have in previous years. So,
But our total's less.
right.
Any questions?
Maybe it's not germane to today, but what I did was try to go back myself with the records I had as a council person, and the allocation list I had for last year was 300 and, well, no. Okay, I see the 407 now.
Yeah, the emergency aid is the addition to the
Yeah.
351.
All right. Because that was a question that I had last time, was where that came from, and I couldn't find it. Thank you.
Yes.
Or did the funding come in late too?
The CDBG funding did, and so if you look on your score sheets, the ones that are shaded in green, those people are still spending their CDBG funds. We got those, I believe, in August of the year, and so their contracts were implemented at that time, so they are still spending their 2017 funds.
Because that's kind of out of their control, right?
It's out of our control, yeah, so we just have to initiate the contracts as soon as we get announced. We just got announced for 18 just last week, so we should get them out a little bit sooner this year, but last year it was significantly late.
Okay.
Am I to understand they will know their scores and who is funded tomorrow?
Yes, we will send them out tomorrow, if everything's agreed today.
I have another. With that being, with the funds being late, that didn't hurt them on any of their
No.
points process? did it?
We did not, and that's why they're shaded green, is we just wanted to clarify that we didn't score them at all in those categories because we didn't have anything to score since they were still spending their 2017 funds.
Okay.
So nobody was penalized for being in the CDBG pot of money.
Okay.
In terms of new programs, just to clarify, I went back to the sheet that the council adopted. So there was a cap for new programs, some language that said it was unlikely that they'd be funded, but that was for an organization. If an organization existed, they could start a new program and would not be capped. Only if it was a new program by a new organization would it be capped?
It was capped if it was a new organization. So if it was an existing organization that had a new program, it was fine, but
Okay.
it was capped at the new organization.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. That is the recommendation for 2019. Any other items? Now, I have the date for appeals as June 1st
Yes.
at 3 o'clock at Holiday West. Okay?
So what does that mean for the agencies since
They want to appeal.
they have to
Their
file with you
decision.
before then?
They do. So we'll send out scores with a description of what the process is, just as a reminder. But they have a week to appeal. As soon as we know who the appeals are and what they're appealing, we'll forward that to the ECD members. And then we will meet on June 1st for them to present to us what their appeal is.
3?
At 3, Holiday West.
Just wanted to double check.
Sure.
Give you guys a couple of days window still in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other items?
Well, so I'm sure that they're aware of how to appeal then, or to get with you, or is everybody okay with understanding with that? Okay.
Yeah, they'll just send us an email confirmation to the email that we send out, and saying that they want to appeal, and then the reason for the appeal. We would also need that as well, so we can share that with you guys.
Okay.
Anything else? Seeing nothing further, we're adjourned. Thank you for coming.